fictional friends, and welcome to another episode of Fully Booked. I'm Meaghan. Oh no.
And I'm Shirin.
Oh dear. Am I the only one who feels like it's suddenly the beginning of August and I'm like, what?
Where did the summer go?
I don't know. I don't know.
It flies by normally, but this year,
I know.
This
was like a snap of a finger kind of year.
It was like normally summer is a jumbo jet, but this year it's a fucking Concorde. You know?
Nice. That's a good analogy.
Yeah.
I have no idea how we've wound up here. And everybody is somehow the summer has flown by, but we're also exhausted. So I'd love to know how that happened.
It's been so jam-packed. I don't think, but maybe that's why it's flown by.
Maybe it's true. Maybe it's because there's been too much in a row, and now we're just hitting the end of it. All I can say right now is that it's hot, and I want to like keep enjoying it, but I'm also tired of it and would kind of like it to be fall. So
you've reached that threshold now.
I'm getting there. I think it got too hot too fast this year, and I'm getting there. And also the Halloween stuff's out at like Winners and stuff. So you know,
we should go to Winners.
This is a different discussion.
Sorry,
it's an off podcast chat. Anyway, well, we were trying to decide. We were like, all right, what are we going to talk about for the month of August?
Well, because I'm always, every year, I'm inclined to be like, let's have a summer reads month.
Agreed, yeah. And, but eventually, I'm like, God, we're going to cover every single topic that we could possibly cover.
Which I feel like we have already.
We probably have.
Yeah.
But, so this year, I think we decided to, keep it simple and fun and easy, and depending on what we wind up talking about for the rest of the month, probably kind of silly. We're coming for you, passion flames.
Get ready.
Yeah. So, what'll be better for the month of August than for summer romance? Come on.
I mean, why does Nicholas Sparks do so well? Because all of his stories are set in the South where it's summer.
And it's hot.
And it's easy. And you're just like, oh, summer romance. I love it.
I don't. But, I like romance. I just don't like Nicholas Sparks books.
Fair.
Yeah.
But I'm just using it as an example.
I know. But it's aesthetically, it is the perfect example of summer romance books.
Everybody loves a summer romance. And it's such a big topic in YA as well, because you're out for the summer.
Very much.
You're not in school, you have no other distractions, and there are a lot of hearts start flying.
There are a lot of YA romances about summer abroad, and I meet somewhere on vacation with my family, and I meet someone there's a lot of those aspects of things too. Which is, this is so funny. We're talking about this in a light, flighty way, but the discussion that we're going to have today is about the idea of certain very dark and serious topics within specific romance, and particularly romance from one specific author, and what that maybe means for the future of romance novels to a degree. Not that everything's going to shift. I don't think that, but just what that will mean in the overarching kind of grand scheme of things.
Right.
So today we're going to be having just a little bit of a chat about Colleen Hoover's, I guess, work overall, just in the sense coming from a place of the majority, and if anybody here has read any Colleen Hoover, you'll be aware that yes, while there's a lot of romance and romantic stories within her writing, the topics that she covers are extremely heavy in many cases.
Very serious subject matter.
Very serious subject matter to do with things like domestic violence and loss of a child, miscarriages and things like that. Divorce, there's a lot of adultery that happens between partners. There is death in some of them for certain characters and things like that. There's a lot.
There's a lot. Inability to conceive.
Yes, that's it. Infertility struggles.
Infertility, that's the word I was looking for. Okay. I was infidelity. No. Yes, but not
yes,
that.
But also no.
So, and I think that it just kind of lends to, as Meaghan was saying, it's kind of the evolution of romance.
Sorta.
And it's an interesting direction that we've gone in, because Colleen Hoover, as an example, she's obviously not the only author who writes these types of books.
Yeah, we're generalizing.
We're generalizing, but we're using her as an example because with the rise of fame of Colleen Hoover, that came with an audience, right?
Yes.
And so suddenly there's an audience for very serious subject matter romance.
It seems like it.
And a big audience at that, you know? And, like, I personally have read a few of her books, and I find them hard to read.
Yeah.
Like, as someone who loves romance.
Yeah, and, like, they take on... I think the thing is that in some of them it becomes almost comedic in how much serious subject matter.
Which one? November 9?
I'm never going to get over that one. Guys, we talked about, we both read like a few different Colleen Hoover books previously in a previous episode. Go like search for it.
Yeah.
And we talked about them. November 9 was the most absurd book I've ever read in my fucking life.
You hated it. You ranted about it for like 20 minutes.
It was ridiculous. So if you don't care about the spoilers and stuff, go ahead and listen to that.
I actually bought it so I can read it, and I still haven't read it.
Oh, I need you to get to it at some point, just so that
eventually I need to get into it. Yeah.
You know how like when you read, like we've all read The Housemaid now. We've talked about it, right? Like, you know, you read like a like crazy like over the top thriller, and you roll with it because you're like, this is ridiculous. I'm here for it. This is so much fun because it's so wild. Take the thriller mystery aspect out of it and just put that in a book and tell me you're not like, what the fuck is going on? That was basically how I felt while I was reading that book.
The love story between Nina and Andrew. What?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah. So, okay, so we've seen this. Obviously, we're not going to talk about The Last of Us, or not The Last of Us. It ends with us.
The Last of Us.
I could talk about The Last of Us. That second season was a little bit boring, but anyway,
we're
going to talk about it, and we're not going to talk about It Ends With Us again. It's been talked about and over talked about. We don't need to talk about it again. But obviously, also, I mean, I think this is, you know, not a terrible time to have this chat as well, because, you know, we've seen like Forgetting You, I think it is coming out, if I'm not mistaken, either end of this year or sometime next year.
I think it's end of this. I think it's like November.
Oh, good lord! So soon, and then Verity is also, I believe, in production as well. Yeah, something like that. May of 2026. Yeah. So there you go. So see, all of these things are on their way as well, and I believe that there are other novels of hers that have been picked up at this point as well, due to how popular It Ends With Us was as well.
And like, again, you know, if we go back to kind of the discussion we had about adaptations, a Coho book, you know, you don't need huge budget to make it happen.
No, God, they were talking about easy to make a decent adaptation of the novel, because there's not much to do with special effects for it. You don't have to create an entire fantasy world that doesn't exist. These are usually real people with real world problems, kind of thing.
Well, I mean, pretty serious real world problems, but yeah.
Well, it's like if you took too many real world problems and threw them at one person.
Yeah, that's pretty much Colleen Hoover in a nutshell.
So
much. Like, her books are like, you know, you're reading it, and I find myself having to like pause for a breath and like,
oh yeah.
You know, and like, then it begs the question, can it still be classified as romance?
Oh my God, that's a good question. I wonder at a certain point, or does this cross over into like some sort of like drama kind of thing?
Because like I think about like All Your Perfects, for example, where they were like a perfect couple, super in love, but you're reading like the internal monologue.
Oh yes.
Of, you know, this is what's happened to this woman after infertility and the struggles that she's facing, and then her husband cheats on her, and like all this stuff that happens, but then in the end they do. Sorry, spoiler alert. They do stay together. You know, they work through their issues. Yeah. I think she gets a puppy to appease her needs.
Oh, God. Oh, I don't know how I feel about that.
Yeah.
Oof. Okay.
I think it was to demonstrate that she had moved on, I suppose. I don't know. But anyway, can it be classified as romance anymore? Like, is there...
I guess.
Is there a requirement in a romantic genre for it to be like the beginning of the relationship and the falling in love? Or can it be classified as romance if they're already in love and they're working through their issues to stay together?
But I guess you have to wonder, like, and then it becomes, then you can go more granular and be like, well, maybe it depends what kinds of issues we're talking about. How serious or non-serious are they? How much do they affect that couple? At one point, that's it. Am I taken fully out of the romantic aspect by something like you spoke about All Your Perfects? Isn't there infidelity? Like one cheats on the other?
Yeah, he cheats on her.
Right. Like, you know what I mean? Like, at that point, you're just kind of like, ugh.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I'm reading a romance novel anymore.
No, but It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
they meet, they fall in love, and then he starts beating her up.
Yeah, that's true. God.
So then you're like, well, hang on a second. If your definition is that they have to meet and fall in love,
then it's a romance.
Then
novel.
It's a romance?
Correct.
So, like...
But also the relationship also ends before the end of the novel, which is rare in the romance genre as well. You know what I mean?
True.
Like,
there's a lot of, like, happily ever after that happens.
And usually, like, come on, be honest. When you pick up, like, a romance, especially, like, if you're looking at the cute little cartoon covers on them and stuff like that, you kind of expect a happily ever after, and that's kind of the level of escapism that you're looking for.
You're right. I mean, that's why I read romance.
Yeah.
Like,
oh my God,
just like, oh, it's so sweet. Like, it's a will they, won't they, and enemies to lovers.
Enemies to lovers
it's not a married couple are beating on each other. Like that's not cute.
No, it's like I need to help this, like, my brother's best friend out, and, like, you know, we kind of hate each other, but we're fake dating now because we need to, like, you know, we need to do X, Y, Z.
I need a date for a wedding.
That's it, and we fall in love while we're, like, doing X. We spend more time together, and he doesn't think I'm the bratty little sister anymore.
Right.
Like, it's that. It's the cute, silly, this barely ever really happens in real life, but it's fun, and I'm here to read it because it's just like a good time, you know? Or it's something, or that's it, like, you know, and you can, like, classify that in multiple different ways. You can go the rom-com way, you can go the dark romance way, which is also, like, extremely unrealistic, where you're like, oh yes, I too regularly fall in love with mafia bosses. Like, what? They're really dark.
We now rule the underworld together.
Like, they're so dark with everybody except me. Like, obviously, it's like, it's ridiculous. We know it's ridiculous. It's stupid, but that's the fun level of escapism for it. Like, I didn't read something like Lights Out with a guy who, like, is, like, all stalking a girl for a period of time before they start dating, but in the funniest way possible.
Right.
And then go, like, yes, this is real life, and this would definitely happen between two people.
But all the spicy books now, like, I was saying this to you the other day. I was like, reading is one thing, but if somebody tried this in real life, you'd be like, nah, man.
That's why, and again, okay, that's why, like, so many of these too, I'm like, oh, you can't adapt that shit. Like, it's just gonna be fucking weird. Like, it would just be weird. You can't do that. So I guess, in a way, if we kind of circle back, in a way, that almost makes Colleen Hoover stuff work, because with the you can adapt her stuff. You can.
Oh, very easily.
You're gonna be depressed as fuck when you leave that movie theater, but you can adapt it.
You can. And now, like, after this discussion, I'm not entirely sure that I would classify her as romance
I don't know how I would classify it anymore, if I would just consider her, like, general fiction with a caveat that there's some romantic aspects to it. But you can say that about a lot of just fiction, can't you?
You could.
That there are romantic subplots, potentially.
Well, yeah, I mean, they tend to sprinkle in romance in a lot of books.
a lot of stories, because it's natural. A lot of us go through these things in our life. We experience romance, we experience relationships, beginnings, middles, ends, like, all those sorts of things in different aspects of our lives. So, like, it's understandable.
Yeah, you can't leave it out of a lot of storylines, right?
No, because for so many people it is part of reality as well. So it kind of makes sense. But yeah, there's just I don't know.
I don't either. I, like, asked that question, and I'm like thinking through the ones that I've read, and I'm like, like, even Verity, like, he meets Verity.
Yeah.
He meets the, what's her name? Not Verity. The person who was hired.
The ghostwriter or whatever.
The ghostwriter, he meets her, they fall in love, whatnot. Like, again, like, yeah, it's but not like, really.
No, it's all, like, extremely, and, like, when it comes to, I would say, in, like, the Colleen Hoover universe, and again, it's not like I read that many, so maybe I don't know, but, like, Verity's the real foray into, like, the thriller aspect of things. So for me, Verity is, like, the least quote unquote realistic of the bunch in a way, because it has that addition of sort of like, oh, I'm actually in like an erotic thriller. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, I'm actually in this completely different type of story than I was expecting to be. True. So that to me almost means that, like, you know, if you adapted it, I would suspend my disbelief more and be like, yeah, sure, I'll go along with this kind of, like, absurdity in what it is, simply because I'd be like, yeah, okay, this is crazy, but, like, you know what? Like, it's a thriller, I'm here for it, whatever, it's fun. Whereas with a lot of the other ones, like All Your Perfects, I read Ugly Love, which is, like, another one too that I was like, God, this is just so fucking heavy. Yeah. That you're kind of like, I thought I picked this up for fun. Like, I thought I picked up a light read, and that's not what I'm getting.
Well, and then you've got, like, It Starts With Us, which is about...
It's the follow-up, isn't it? It's like
the prequel, isn't it?
No. It's after her and what's his name?
Atlas.
I was going to say Atticus.
Whoops. Atticus Finch.
Yes, that's where I'm at on my classics in my head. Apparently, I was her and Atlas. No, because that's what I thought too, and that's what's so confusing about these titles is that in my head, It Starts With Us would have been a prequel, but apparently it's not. It Starts With Us is because of the budding relationship between her and Atlas post divorce.
So then, which is the one that I bloody read? There's one that I read about a woman who is like she was in an abusive relationship or something like that.
Okay.
Maybe it starts with us. And she lives in this small little apartment. And
does she have a baby?
She has a daughter.
Okay, so it's definitely that, obviously.
But like, oh fuck, I can't remember.
Okay, it has to be that.
It has to be that one. I think I read it before I read It Ends With Us.
Oh, that's confusing. But that's also, you know what? I wouldn't even be surprised if multiple people did that because they would just immediately assume that is the first one and It Ends With Us is the second one.
But I think I didn't like click that there was like, they were the same story because this was like before like Coho was so big or whatever. Like, sure. I think I picked up It Starts With Us. I read it. Time went by.
And then you read It Ends With Us later?
And then I read It Ends With Us, and I didn't make the correlation that they were related.
And that technically they should have been read in the opposite.
Yeah, because I remember reading It Starts With Us and just being very confused.
Yeah, because you're just like, what the hell is what's the backstory
I know.
Here?
I'm like, oh, so you're just going to throw it in there that you were abused by this guy and we're just going to move on? Like, we're not going to go into that at all? Like,
that's so funny. That must have been the most confusing read of your life.
It was, and I'm like, this is shit.
And you're like, wow, this is They're just talking about some ex-husband or whatever.
Pretty much,
you're like,
yeah. I'm like, what is this?
And then this new thing, and then this like love from my childhood, which also there's backstory
right,
of in
but
it.
There was no backstory of it, and I'm like, God, this sucks.
Oh my God, you'd think it was the worst writing in the world.
That's
as well.
What I thought.
That's so funny. That's so funny.
I might have to try and read it again.
You might. Well, if you read them in order, it would
probably make more sense. Well, that's why at one point, I think when we were recording It Ends With Us.
Yeah.
I was talking about It Starts With Us, like, in a way, like, I'd never read it, but I did read it.
But you did read it, yeah.
But, like, I didn't really understand the book or something. Yeah,
but that happens sometimes. It's almost like you didn't read it at all, to be fair.
Yeah, like, I'm now thinking, like, maybe I should reread that.
It might be a good idea just to give you, like, a little bit more context.
I think so.
Going into it now, you'd be like,
that makes sense.
Oh, this is still, what's her name, Lily.
Yeah.
And we're talking about
Ryle Kincaid.
Guys,
Ryle Kincaid.
We said it so often during our review when we went to see the movie. I'm never going to get over that fucking name. Ryle. Just pick Ryan or Kyle, Colleen.
It's a Ryle. It can't be Kyle Ringcade.
That would have been great.
That's the nicer brother. The nicer version of him.
The nicer version of him.
We digress.
God. Oh, anyway. Okay. Yeah, you know what? Fuck it. I don't even care. I don't care if anybody's mad. I'm sorry. I don't feel like Colleen Hoover. In my world, she's not romance because I don't walk away from it being like, that was nice and sweet. So.
No. You walk away from any of her books being like, what the fuck did I just read?
Literally.
Like, again, hats off to you, Coho. You've written way more books than I could ever dream of writing.
Oh, yeah, whatever. I say this, like, she doesn't give a fuck what I have to say about any of this. She's laughing
like
all the way to the bank.
At this point.
Yeah, she doesn't care at all what I have to say about any of this. It's just, I have to classify her as just general fiction. At this point, I cannot classify her as a strictly romance author.
Although,
yes,
weird train of thought. Okay. And feel free to edit this out.
Okay.
But do you think that Colleen Hoover has some weird, like, negative juju, like, magic that she does? Because, like, all of her books are, like, really dark and negative.
Yes, fair.
And then, when they did It Ends With Us, Blake Lively and Justin Baldoni's careers are basically done for.
Oh my God, I don't even,
you know?
I feel like they're never going to recover from this.
And then it makes me wonder, like, I wonder if the same thing happens, like, with Verity.
Or, like, not forgetting you. I said forgetting you earlier, didn't I? Sorry, I think it's regretting you. is the one that's coming out.
Are those 2 sequels as well?
Oh fuck, I don't know. I'm sorry, I think it's Regretting You. See, I haven't read any of these, which shows.
But like, if there's like bad stuff that happens to all the actors who act in her movies and stuff, like you'd have to be like, ooh, she's spooky.
Hopefully not, because I think Regretting You is starting. What's her name? I think it's Allison Williams. They're from like Get Out and the like Meaghan films and stuff like that. She's good. Hopefully she's just okay, and we don't start here. Oh my god, can you imagine if we start getting that? And yeah, like, you know, leave her alone. Leave Anne Hathaway alone. Yeah. They're okay, guys.
They're okay.
We can leave them alone, and hopefully this won't just start ruining other people's careers and create the weirdest media buzz I have seen in a long time.
Oh man, I followed that so closely.
I even
read the documents.
Oh my god, I started to, and then I was like, my brain is overloaded with this. Eventually I had to stop.
It's nuts. I don't know where they are at with it now, but all I know is that I don't really like either of these parties anymore.
Yeah, no, everybody seems like they're a mess and a fucking half. And I agree with you. I don't know if anybody's ever going to recover from this. Oh, boy. Okay. Anyway, yep, that's it. So we're walking away from this being like, I don't feel like this is very romantic anymore.
Nope. Nope.
Anyway, I'm sure other people have different opinions. And look, if you've read a ton of Colleen Hoover, because really, like, I've read like 2 books. Shireen, you read like 3 or 4, I think.
3 of them.
Yeah, that's it. So maybe other people have a better idea than I do. If you've read like 10 of them, then you probably feel differently than we do. You can let us know about it. But yeah, I just feel like the topics that are covered really don't make me feel very much other than just kind of sad after I finish their books. So.
Yep. I agree.
Anyway, we'll be coming at you for the rest of this month, which with probably slightly lighter stuff. I think we're going to have a fun rest of the month of August.
Very romantic.
Have some fun, romantic, silly times. Yay. So, obviously, in the meantime, you know, check out all of our articles and everything that are being published over on the website at fullybooked.ca. Feel free to follow us on social media, Instagram, TikTok, Threads, and Blue Sky. Search for Fully Booked CA and you'll find us there. But until next week, guys, keep on reading.
Thanks, everyone.